It's time for another Showbiz Spotlight. This time, putting the pedal to the metal in the latest post-apocalyptic action thriller, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. It's the 5th installment in the franchise, serving as a spin-off and prequel, starring Anya Taylor Joy and Chris Hemsworth.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance. This is our destiny.
My childhood. My mother. I want them back. I want them back!
Felt like she was with me, to be honest, like from the second I read the script. And that was not in any negative way, but that was a heavy energy to carry around. And so I felt a really great deal of responsibility to this character.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
There's a paternal relationship there in his eyes. I do believe he thinks of himself as a father figure, and it would be quite shocked if she thought any differently. But I do think he is preparing her for the wasteland and the brutality of it, and it's kill or be killed. And if you don't rule with an iron fist, then you'll be left in the dust. And if you aren't memorable, and if you don't stand out, and if you don't, in the trailer, as he says, make it epic, you'll be not only forgotten about, but brutally disposed of.
The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic?
I think where it really takes its turn is once he has deliberately destroyed her again. And at that moment, she's like, right, yeah, no, I'm going to pin everything bad that has ever happened to me on you. And that's the only way that I'm going to be able to make this right for myself, which, of course, as we know, with most stories of revenge, nothing's ever going to make it right.
If you find him, he's mine.
I think what I love most potentially as a messaging in the movie is, whilst, yes, this is 100% a revenge story, the beauty of carrying a seed with you consistently, and it being a seed of something that you hope to one day plant, not for yourself to enjoy, but for future generations to enjoy. That is something that I connected to desperately.
You've already been injured. We don't know. We just sort of glimpsed it, and then we're pulling out. Mad Max first came out. The French critics called it a Western on wheels. And these stories have a lot in common with the Western. When I was young, every cowboy hero had a horse with a name. There was a guy called Roy Rogers who had a horse called Trigger. And Lone Ranger, he had a horse called Silver, Hi-Ho Silver. And I'm sure that all of them had. So I think they were extension of themselves, and I think that same thing applied. That was a completely unconscious thing that started to happen, but I realized that they had to be, and it's kind of natural. They're not just, oh, there's a car we can get in.
There will always be war, but to get home, Furiosa fought the world.
Because I was brought up on horror movies, I think some of the proudest moments in my career is when I can say something like truly disturbed to George, and he's like, Anya.
Yeah.
That was shocking. And I'm like,
It was surprising when he is shocked, too. I'm like,
yeah, you're like,
George,
what?
you just
Exactly.
mutilated someone in the film.
He'll be like, Anya, that's so violent. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
It was a tough thing to reconcile. This kind of nurturing, sweet, wonderful person, and then the violent, brutal, chaotic world that he puts on screen.
Your motorbike chariot is very, very cool, but my double tanker takes it easily. Just in terms of size and let yours wins, but
mine's like the impracticality of mine is kind of trumped by the tanker can, you transport fuel or milk. Is it,
everything, the food, we've got everything up in there, man.
Yeah, all of the things needed to survive. Mine's just for looks.
It's also got like beautiful artwork on the side, telling story. I remember Colin taking us around, the production designer taking me into the like vehicle pit essentially the first day, and I saw the war rig and I was just like, that's my baby.
So cool. So cool.
Thanks for watching another edition of the Showbiz Spotlight. If you can, please follow, subscribe, and like the Showbiz Syndicate, and check out other reviews and stories. I'm humbled and appreciative.